Hi, welcome to Mercurious Being. I am Amy Jensen and I'm here today for your Astro Update Cancer New Moon. And it should be a pretty straightforward video today, not a lot, thankfully, extra happening with this new moon, just exploring the energies of Cancer. Earlier this week on July 5th, Mercury reached its max elongation as a morning star. And then on the 7th, Mercury was back at the degree at which it began its retrograde. So things are starting to move forward. So according to Gary Caton, Mercury max elongation morning star is the process of catching up and passing the speed of the sun. We are returning to our normal world after Mercury's descent into the underworld. So Mercury is high in the sky at sunrise. It's a time to look forward toward goals. It's as if you can see more clearly ahead now. The time spent in the retrograde period is about envisioning and reviewing and releasing, reworking plans, recovering our energy, finding our power hours, and recovering our soul, parts of our soul that have been cast away. Reintegrating, bringing something back from the spiritual and making it happen and present in the material world is another facet. And with this, we could go back to normal, we could go back to business as usual, but that's negating the purpose of the Mercury retrograde period. So the whole purpose of that reworking is not just going back to normal, not just going back to your television shows and all of that, your normal habits and patterns. It's like, what did you find out about yourself during that period? And then how does that change how you go forward? So if you notice some chaos as you bring these retrieved parts of yourself back in, then the process has been successful. One of the things, the main thing that came to me, we'll go through the energies of Cancer here, but one of the things that came to me was psychic hygiene for this new moon. On my website, I'll put a link and I will upload an Ayurvedic, it's a sister science to yoga and astrology. I'll put a daily routine, just a guideline, a dinacharya, and then one for the evening as far as just, and I know that's a little more Virgoan in some ways, but the way we feel in our bodies affects our minds, and then of course the way we feel in our minds and our emotions affects our body. It's you can't do one without the other. So as I said, this is a little more 6th house Virgo-y in that way, but I am just really feeling the need and urge to talk because Cancer and the moon have so much to do with intuition and what we're absorbing. So let me explain that, where my mind went there. So the moon and Cancer have everything to do with your intuition and absorbing things and absorbing all these influences out there. And as we know, there's nonstop influence on each and every one of us all the time, always, whether it's people's intentions, whether it's the media, whether just everything. So there's just so much, and so much just a need for you to just have your own physical and psychic barriers and energy. And it's really very simple. But these, just a couple quotes from Ayurveda, Dr. Claudia Welch. The more complicated your spiritual, emotional, or physical life, the simpler your diet should be. Another one, whatever affects the body affects the mind and vice versa. Anyway, everything that exists in the external universe has its counterpart in the internal universe of the human body. So at this time, that's all I'll say about that for now, and I'll put that up on my website. New moons, great time to start new things. It's the new energy for the next period of time, even though it's at 18 degrees Cancer, 1 minute, the new moon tomorrow night, July 9th at 8:17 p.m. Central Time. So thinking of these new intentions, letting them really be aligned with nurturing, which is Cancerian, nourishing, and both of those things are very, Ayurveda is all about balancing yourself, balancing your mind, your body, your emotions, and just having your routine be very loving. So I've been thinking about that a lot in my yoga practice, and even my fitness practice, because I've been trying to up that a bit, just to feel stronger in my body, kind of getting that Mars energy out. It's also good just kind of wringing the body out, really getting that heat in the body, even though we are in Pitta season. We've had so much, I feel, stagnation during this last year and a half for myself personally, and confinement, that even though it's Pitta season, it's like really getting all of that out of the body has been very necessary. All right, let's go into Cancer new moon. So let's see, the Cancer, the symbol of Cancer is the crab, the 2 claws of the crab. The ancient symbol for Cancer was the turtle, and both of these have a shell on their back, and both are very soft inside, which is a very apt description of Cancer. Cancer is, again, very intuitive, very flowing, but there's a snap. They've got the claws. The snapping turtle has has a nice snap as well. There's a lot of sense of trust in the family. There's a lot of tribalism. So there's a trust of people who are in the family and a mistrust of people who are out of the family. So a sense of comfort and emotional support from people you're really sure of, kind of this us versus, this is the kind of the negative thing, us versus them, in the family, out of the family, safe versus unsafe. And this Cancerian energy is kind of played up by nations, as you could tell, to manipulate, so we need to protect ourselves against others. So the positive, harmonious aspect of that is, feeling safe, creating a family or a tribe within which you feel safe, and that within which you are supported and nourished. And that can come from anywhere. But all of that starts from within. Okay, so your own intuition, your own nurturing and nourishing yourself. So there's a lot about self-care, but listening to your emotions. Emotions are also Cancerian moon. So thinking of your emotional guidance system, and how, just going back to that Claudia Welch quote, as well as when things are really complicated, make your diet simple. So much of our feelings being repressed and not listened to can cause illness in the body, because we're really not listening to what you know to be true for yourself. And that's where, again, I come back to the psychic hygiene, so that you're not influenced by others, well-meaning others. I'm not saying everyone is trying to manipulate you, but we all know that sense of people wanting things from you. And if you are sensitive, you feel it, and then you don't know, well, do I want to do that, or does somebody want me to do that? Do I want to do that, or is that what I think somebody wants me to do? And I in my own experience, I do things because I think people want me to do them, and then I realize that they really didn't want me to do it, but I just thought that was a better idea, or that they wanted that for me. So again, just kind of stilling the waters. Cancer is the first water sign that we come through in the year. Aries fire, Taurus earth, Gemini air, and then we come to cardinal water. I always think of Cancer as lake water. And so when Cancer is clear and still, like there's just nothing more beautiful than a lake, and how it reflects the light, how it reflects the scenery around it. So there's this reflective quality to Cancer, and a stillness and a depth, right? And then, as we know, that it can be choppy. Water can, churn and churl. Be churlish. I don't know where I'm going with that one. Reflecting, mirroring, memories. Cancer and the moon are a lot about memories and remembering. It's a lot about cycles and fluctuation. It is about fluids, fluid in your body. Containers like the stomach and the breasts are also ruled by the moon. And we all know, I think of milk, which should be moon-like. Again, this goes back to the sensitivity, how in the fridge, that's gonna pick up anything funky smelling in the fridge. The milk's gonna pick it up, as well as your moon center is going to pick it up. The moon calls us to be at home within ourselves wherever we go, just like the turtle and the crab. She calls upon us to be nurtured by others and by ourselves. She calls us to nourish others by reflecting their light back to them. The moon rules Monday or Moon Day, as you know, and the Bach Cancer remedy would be clematis. Inharmoniously, that's too daydreamy, too lost in daydreams. It's hard to live in the real world or be present, prefer the imaginary world, because the moon in Cancer is a lot about imagination. The moon rules the ages from 0 to 7, so a childlike energy to the moon. And so daydreaming and imagining, but keeping it within the world, bringing it and being present, not getting lost in your daydreams, but getting lost in your daydreams and then bringing that energy back and then creating with it or playing with it, okay? So grounding it, okay? All right, I am going to read the spirit animal, turtle spirit animal information at this time. Lovely artwork. This is from Colleen Baron-Reid's deck of the Spirit Animal Oracle. And Turtle Spirit, slow and steady, wins the race. Turtle Spirit arrives to remind you that when you do what you need to do, putting one foot in front of the other and trusting that you will see your intentions manifest in perfect timing, your prosperity and love will grow exponentially. Now is not the time to rush around trying to force matters. Move slowly, perhaps even so slowly that it almost feels as if you are not moving at all. This may be a time to crawl before walking, taking your time to align to Turtle Spirit's place as you, it says place, but I think it should be pace, Turtle Spirit's pace, as you contemplate this road you are on, doing what you need to do in this small moment that will soon pass. Turtle Spirit reminds you that sometimes the best action is to slow right down, so it feels as if you are not doing enough. Know that simply being aware of what is happening right now may be an important step toward determining whether you need to pivot or simply keep putting one foot in front of the other. True love and true success comes with patience, says Turtle Spirit. Focus on the now and the next step will be clear. Protection message. Pushing too hard or rushing to leave others in the dust is not the way of Turtle Spirit, even if it seems at times it is the way of the world. Turtle Spirit wants you to remember that you are a human being, not a human doing. In the protection position, Turtle Spirit is giving you the message that the best thing to do right now is to let go of the drive to compete or control and do more. Instead, simply be. As an old Norse saying goes, we do without doing and everything gets done. Spirit conspires on your behalf, so slow to a crawl and even stop, releasing any fear that life is a race that you might be losing. Trust that peace, prosperity, love, and purpose are all yours to enjoy right now. Do not do, simply be. So that goes back to that energy of finding your own rhythm and power hours that were part of the Mercury retrograde period. But since Cancer, since the moon rules cycles, all kinds of cycles, sleep cycles, day and light, everything within your life cyclically is ruled by the moon. That energy of feeling pushed to go faster than you would like to go, again, or pushed by yourself to go faster than you know in your body that you should go, and your energy and your emotions. So that's something to contemplate. I want to say complicate. Don't complicate it. Make it a lot more simple. Really listen to yourself and your own rhythms. All right, we're at 15 minutes. This chart, I'm just gonna go into a few moonstones here. Selenite's a great one. Calming, peaceful, meditative, clears confusion and clears energy. Moonstone is great for inner growth, soothes emotion, is calming, enhances intuition, aids digestion, enhances nutrient assimilation, eliminates toxins and fluid retention. It's good for balancing hormonal cycles, PMS, conception, pregnancy, childbirth, and for the masculine, helps open to the emotional self. They're also both good, especially for, both of them are good for clearing energy. I like selenite's really a good go-to for just clearing. Just use it around yourself to cleanse. Get out in nature. It's high summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. High sun. The turtles are out sunning themselves on the rocks and on the logs. They're highly visible. This is their season. That said, Pluto is opposing this. I'm just going to hold this quickly up. This is the last time that Pluto and Mars are going to be on this bowl shape that we've had at every lunation, bowl or basket. So the next time it'll be Pluto and Venus, I believe, in the next lunation. So there's still a lot about restructuring, pushing, and restructuring from Pluto. Some power issues, power balancing. But let's just keep it simple and go back into meditation, finding your good cycle for yourself and a good rhythm for your own body and your own mind. Get out in nature, walk, clear your energy, clear your head, drink lots of water, because we are all needing to be able to listen to ourselves and not be listening to or that power struggle with the outside world. Finding your own power structure, and you'll know it's a good one because you'll feel super good and you'll feel clear and you'll feel healthy and you'll feel happy, and everything around you will be a lot easier. Your relationships will be easier because you're really listening to yourself, and the ones that aren't easier will fall to the wayside because they're not really helpful to you or the other person anyway. So I guess we're all saying, get back to simplicity, get back to your emotional guidance system, and find a good rhythm and go outside and play. Find that childlike wonder that summer holds. All right, that's it for now. Take care. Have a wonderful new moon. Namaste.